want to talk to you about the fact that I think the right is greatly underestimating the level of unification that Democrat states have in their efforts to abolish the Electoral College. Since I began in politics, I've gotten article links from adults, conservative adults, about efforts by the left to take down the Electoral College or to keep Trump off the ballot. There was one in California where they wanted to keep him off the ballot until he gave up his tax returns. I've always gotten these articles and I've read them, but I didn't really worry about it because, we believe on the right that the Constitution will stand forever unless something dramatic happens. We do believe that. But recently I got an article from somebody who was talking about the recent court case that had a lot to do with whether or not electoral delegates actually have to vote the way that they have supposed to be voting. What I discovered from that was that there is a much bigger unification amongst Democrat states to abolish the Electoral College than I thought. I'm going to give you a specific thing, and I'm going to read this to you because I want to get it right. There's something called the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact, which is an agreement among a group of U.S. states and the District of Columbia to award all their electoral votes to whichever presidential candidate wins the overall popular vote in the United States. Now, this is interesting to me because I had always thought these efforts to take down the Electoral College, to change the Constitution, were sort of individualized. I didn't think that there was a unifying factor here, that states were talking to each other, that state leaders were taking actions to actually go into a compact on behalf of their state. So for me, this is a red flag on the right, because if I didn't know this, and I think I know a lot about what goes on in the world, how could other people know about this? This is a mistake to underestimate the unifying faction of Democrat states. There are 15 states that have signed a compact to go as far as to make sure that they are on record as wanting to award electoral votes to the candidate that wins the popular vote. These are big states. This is New York, California, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Colorado, Delaware, New Mexico, Oregon, even more states. In fact, in 2007, the governors of California and Hawaii had to veto going into this compact, and since then both states have gone into the compact. The issue I have is that I don't feel like the right understands that we have a large force of people on the Democrat side who are trying to through constitutional conventions and things like that, change and abolish the Electoral College. I think people on the right, specifically right-wing commentators and such, believe that the only efforts to do this are through Antifa or crazy people or AOC proposing legislation. They're not paying attention to things like this compact that really serve to unify one side against the other, which is what's happening right now. So for me, I'm concerned about the fact that we don't know about how much unifying is really going on in these Democrat states. We don't know how organized they are. We often think that the left eats each other up, that they are not forgiving, that they have no loyalty. I don't think that's as much true on the state level. I've been doing a lot of looking into local politics lately. I think what's happening is that these Democrat states know that in order to change something on a constitutional level, they have to get together and do that. And that's what the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact is. It's an agreement amongst states to try to subvert the Electoral College and then really erase the Electoral College. These states altogether, I believe they have 196 electoral votes altogether. That's a sizable amount of electoral votes. That's not 20 electoral votes. They understand the need to come together so that they can start to work towards getting rid of the Electoral College. And what this does is it means that they're accountable to each other in staying in this compact, which is not something we usually see on the left. The other thing I want to talk to you today about is a recent court case, and this was an article that someone sent me of followers, and in this court case it says a federal appeals court late Tuesday ruled that presidential electors who cast the actual ballots for president and vice president are free to vote as they wish and cannot be required to follow the results of the popular vote in their states. This is also a change to the system. This happened because someone wanted to change their electoral vote in the process in 2016. We're seeing all of these efforts, and I no longer believe they're as individualized as we thought. I don't think it's one-off court case as people have thought in the past. I think the right needs to get together, conservative states that are traditionally conservative, that vote red, that are not really in the purple area at all, and start to have a unifying factor in that so that these states can be the opposite of what's happening in the Democrat strongholds. So that there are states that are very concerned and advocating for the keeping of the Constitution. We're falling behind because we're underestimating the unifying factor of Democrat states. We're underestimating what their governors are just signing in on. We're underestimating how far these people are going to go on a legal basis basis to get rid of the Electoral College. At the end of the day, the Electoral College is really what holds Democrats back, because even if they are able to get all these popular votes, win all of these little districts, they still often don't get the presidency because the flyover country says no. So I just think that people on the right, conservative commentators, should stop using discussion of abolishing the Electoral College for clicks and views and talk about things like this compact that show that Democrat leaders on the state level are trying to actually get rid of the Electoral College, to abolish it. I think we're using this stuff as too much cannon fodder, and we need to be actively concerned about it. Thank you guys, and please like and retweet this, and maybe share this with somebody who doesn't really think it's possible for the Electoral College to be abolished. Thanks, everyone.